Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Monday's Moment video, in which I'm going to talk about the lessons that I've learned in the last couple of weeks that being awkward, particularly in the resistance to change, doesn't help anyone. See you in a moment. Now, quite some time ago, the local church that I go to decided to change their service patterns and their service times. And I understand that some of that was due to COVID and restrictions of services, etc. But then as things started to open up, I wanted things to get back to normal. And of course, they didn't. And the changes that were made stayed. And people that were there stayed in their positions, and everything looked like it was going to stay as it is, and still looks like it's going to stay as it is. So, of course, what I tried to do is I tried to look at different ways that perhaps I could implement some change. And there's an image of the church in our village, All Saints Church Weston. So I decided that I would get my point across. I would look at the difficulties that it was causing me, and I would try and get changes reversed. And of course, I'm just one person, and that didn't really make much difference. So I then had to think, do I go and worship somewhere else, or do I try to adapt? And that's when I realized just a couple of weeks ago that I needed to adapt. If I was going to do things differently, if I was going to make the changes that I wanted to make and actually embrace things myself, then going somewhere else wasn't going to be a solution. And for me, as I work with many business owners, very often change is just ahead of us. And when change starts to occur, resistance starts to happen. And you will get some people who embrace the change. But you will also get those people, like in the image at the bottom there, in the middle, that just get frustrated. They start to dig their heels in. How many times have you heard that in business? And they start to think that by being awkward, they will have an impact on either slowing change down or even turning change completely around. And that just doesn't happen. And it doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help the business, and it doesn't help them. And that's what I want each of you to think about. If you're resisting change at the moment, if you are looking at things ahead and you're trying to make a difference, consider the people around you. How can you turn their frustration, their awkwardness, into them being at ease and even happy with the changes that are taking place? How can you show them that adapting to these changes, embracing these changes, is not only good for the business, but it's good for them, and show them that being awkward doesn't make any difference at all. It just doesn't help anyone. And I want you to think about that in your own business. Think about how it can affect people around you and people that perhaps are socially around you, whether it's people that are in your business. How can it make a difference to them? Now, this week, I'm holding one of the final episodes of the online event that I'm having, Making the Most of a Year. And I mention that because if you want access to that webinar that's happening tomorrow, then just drop me a message. And there's going to be, I've decided to add 2 more for February because the sort of need for these webinars has been overwhelming. So I'm going to add some more dates for February. So if you want access to February, great, let me know. If you want to get access for tomorrow's webinar, drop me a message below this video, wherever you're watching it. But I want you to think about this, because as you start to implement changes for your year, whether you come on the webinar or not, when you start making changes, when you start making plans for the year ahead, have a look at the team around you and how they're going to react to it. but also have a look at yourself. How awkward are you being? How much are you digging your heels into the ground and sort of just being awkward for the sake of it? Who does that help? Does it help you? Does it help your business? Does it help those people around you? And I want you to seriously think about that today, because being awkward doesn't help anyone. And if you'd like to know more about some of the training videos that I do and that I put out there, I have 2 Facebook groups, 3 Facebook groups where there's lots of templates, lots of content and some peer-to-peer help in there as well. There's the Business Success Circle. If you go onto Facebook and search Business Success Circle, or the Coaches Success Community, which is exclusively for coaches and consultants. And of course, if you'd love to be a guest on my podcast, then please schedule a podcast chat with me at coffeewithsimon.com, and it would be great to have you as a guest sharing some of your lessons, some of your tips to a wider audience on my podcast. And of course, it'd be great if you'd listen to it and leave it a review as well. That would be absolutely amazing. And I really hope that you think about changes, being awkward, and how you are behaving and how other people are behaving around you with respect to things that are going off in your life, in your social side, perhaps in your relationships, in your family, and in your business. And I trust that you take something away from this week and just be a little bit less awkward, or encourage people to be less awkward and show everyone that being awkward helps no one. See you on next week's Monday's Moment. Bye for now.